Crew, was good? It's Rubber Captain coming back at you with another video. And today we got another special one for y'all boys, man. So look, forgive me all my RP Luffy enthusiasts. I know the next video was supposed to be an RP Luffy video, but unfortunately my wife started a new job and she has to use my PC. So from the time I get off work, my wife is on my PC up until the time it's time for me to go to bed. So I actually had to make this on my laptop. And I don't have any of my RP Luffy footage that I was going to use for my next video on my laptop. So, that being said, I had to make this video on the laptop, like I said, so I may sound different. So forgive me for that as well. But I did have some PB Luffy footage that I've been working on this laptop, and I will work to get y'all some more footage, on the laptop so I can keep my videos coming out consistently. So the RP Luffy video might have to wait until her day off, unfortunately. That way I can use my PC to make the video. But that being said, we've been testing this removal build further. We got some new ratios. We got some new cards. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, we got a bunch of games for y'all, man. Just to make up for not giving y'all the RP Luffy video next. We got a bunch of games for y'all lined up. So man, I hope y'all enjoy this. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody who is a member of the channel, the official Pirates Crew member. I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate everybody. I don't have it on the laptop, so I can't pull it up. But just know I appreciate everybody that's a member. I appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who likes, everybody who subscribes. That being said, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, man. Follow your boy to get more of these clean ass builds, man. Let's get into it. Alright, crew, as you know, in my last PB Luffy video, I said if it gets 60 likes, we will be doing a giveaway for a custom PB Luffy leader card. That being said, let's do the giveaway. Congratulations, Joshua Ritter, man. You are the winner of the custom PB Luffy card. Hit my business email, will be in the description down below. Hit my business email. Prove to me you are who you are. And I would get that card sent out to you, bro. Congratulations. Appreciate you for being on the channel. Let's get back into the video, crew. Also, crew, so we've been doing giveaways, right? How about this? If this video gets 100 likes, we're gonna go big, crew. We're gonna go big. 100 likes. Now we get thousands of views on these PB Luffy videos. If this video gets 100 likes, I will do a custom leader shirt giveaway. You will get a piece of merch sent to your spot. 100 likes. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. 100 likes, you can get any custom leader card shirt that you want, whether it be UP Luffy, RP Luffy, whichever custom leader card shirt you want, we'll send that straight to your house, bro. Yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, crew, so here we are. If you see my last removal build, you're gonna notice a couple different cards in this build right here. So let's kind of go over it, and then we'll kind of go through what the idea is here. So we got our leader, of course. If you don't know what the leader does, you can go watch any of my other PB Luffy videos. I'm not gonna go over that. Now, the idea of this deck is to ramp to your bigs KO shit. You know what I'm saying? There we go. So that's the idea. Ramp to your Kuzan. That's your main big. Ramp to your Kuzan, drop your Kuzan down, and then KO everything. That's the idea of this deck. So let's go through what we got. We're running 2 Zoro Joros here. This is just an extra ramp piece. 1K counter. Great card. Running 4 of the Black Marias. Another ramp piece. 2K counter. Great card. We're running 4 of the Nico Robins here. It's a 2K counter. Ramp. Great card. We're running 4 of the Frankies. This is our cycler. This helps us dig through our deck to help us find extra pieces that we need. We want to put the puzzle together as many times as possible. Great card. We're running actually 3 Brook. This is a new addition to the list. So we wanted the idea is you play Kuzan on 10, right? Well, when you play Kuzan on 10, you don't have active Don left for your Gum Gum Giants. So this is where the Brook comes in, as well as the new Luffy. So Brook, On attack, you return one or more Don to your Don deck. Choose two of your opponent's characters. Give them minus 2,000 power. So the minus 2,000 power is a great effect within itself. But being able to minus two Don, if you don't have the Luffy on board, gives you that extra Don on them turns you play Kuzan. So with your leader effect, you get to ramp back up and you get to have one Don standing. Great card. So we wanted to increase the consistency of, if we don't see the Luffy, we want to have like other options. So that's why we added the Brook. Not to mention it gives minus 2,000 power, as I said, which is a great effect as well. So we got three of the Brooks here, and then we're running four of the new Luffys. Same concept. We like to play this on curb if possible, before our 10 Don turn. Having that 7K leader on top of being able to KO their bodies, they have to choose whether to establish more bodies or, swing at life. So that's what makes this removal build so strong. And you're gonna see that in these games today. So on top of that, we got three Surus, we got three one-legged soldiers, um, both for 2K counters, both for cost reduction. So the Suru gives you minus two, and then the one-legged soldier gives you minus three. Great cards. We like seeing them. I accidentally minus one of my toy soldiers here. Let me put that back. All right, yeah. This laptop, man, just tapping it, fucks up. So I'm not gonna. All right. Anyway, yeah. I'm just bear with me, guys. I'm working with the laptop right now, and it's very sensitive. It's a gaming laptop, but yeah. We're running two Rebeccas. So Rebecca is gonna help us add back our other card we're playing that I haven't went over yet. Our Sanjis, our Blackbeards. On top of that, it'll also allow us to play out our Surus and toy soldiers from hand as well. There's certain plays for that as well. But being able to recycle our other card that we're playing helps us get that extra KO every turn when we get a Blackbeard established, so on and so forth. The next card that we're playing is another new card. We're playing three of the Shirahoshi blockers. So a lot of people didn't like the Laboon because it's expensive. I get it. You can play a Shirahoshi blocker instead. Also, we can add it back off Rebecca so we can keep playing it. Also, it's a blocker on top of that, but it says on play, give one of your opponent's characters minus four cost. So when you got the Blackbeard established, not to mention if you got the Kuzan established, like you're negging shit to the ground, like, and you're gonna be able to do it consistently. Both of these are also cards that you can add back off Blackbeard if they decide to KO it. So, great cards. We're up the Sanjis to four, so we're running four Sanjis in this build, and we also up the Blackbeards to four. So Sanji KOs a five or less if you have a six cost or greater on the board, and then Blackbeard, you may rest him down to KO a three or less. Also on KO, you can add any black card back to your hands, including himself. So great card. So essentially, these are our KOers here, and then besides them, we don't play KOers, but we do have ways to recycle them within Blackbeard using his own effect to recycle itself. Also, you can add them back with Rebecca if you want to grab like a 2K or like one of your cost reductions back with Blackbeard effect, you can do that as well. And then use Rebecca to get the Blackbeard back, so on and so forth. And then, there's a bunch of niche plays with this build, especially when you get to that 10 Don threshold. Like there's turns where you can play Rebecca outright. You got the Luffy or the Brook on board. You can do their effect, get that Don back. Now you're at 7 Don. So let's just say you Rebecca, add back the Blackbeard. Now you can play the Blackbeard out. You got Kuzan on board. You can KO an 8 cost body. Like just there's insane plays in this deck. So yeah. And then we up the Kuzan to 4 because this is the card we want to see. We want to see ramp. We want to see Kuzan, or we want to see ramp. We want to see Luffy or Brook, just to build us up to that Kuzan. You know what I'm saying? We want to curb out nice. And once you start dropping these Kuzans, your opponent is going to feel really, really bad, especially if you don't turn them sideways so they can swing into them and they don't have a way of getting rid of them off the board. Your Sanji's hitting 10s, your Blackbeard's hitting 8s, and that's without any extra cost reduction. You know what I'm saying? So 4 Kuzans. Then we're running 4 Gum Gum Giants, the best card in the game. And we also added another tech card. We're running 2 top knots. This card hasn't came up yet, but with Kuzan on board, top knot is hitting a 9 cost body, and that's bottom decking. So there's it can come up. So that's why we're running it. And this is the list right here, man. Let's get into these matches. I know y'all boys are excited because I am, man. We got a lot of games to go over. So that being said, y'all know what I say. Hey, Brooke, drop that beat. All right, crew. So first match, we got a Eustace kid here. We didn't see any ramp in our first hand, so we're gonna mulligan, and we get a crazy, insane curve in this hand. It's probably gonna be, you know, Zoro into Sanji into Rush Luffy into Kuzan, or somewhere along them lines, just depending on what they play. So usually purple has a rough matchup into kid, but us being able to remove their bodies is going to be crucial for this matchup. And he's actually playing Kikanoju as well, which is, you know, kind of annoying, not gonna lie. So here we're gonna go ahead and swing our Zoro, then we're gonna put 1 on lead, swing 6 into their lead, and then we're probably just gonna play their Sanji out and just get this Kikanoju off board. Even though he's gaining a life, we don't want them being able to swing extra into us. So that is why we made that decision. And we knew our Zoro was going to act as a pseudo blocker, right? I'm going to actually choose the counter out of that attack. He plays a Nico Robin and trashes our life. We're down to 2 life, and it feels, you know, not so great. But we do got the 6 drop Luffy for this turn, so let's see what we do. We put 1 Don on the Zoro, swing 5 into 5, see if he wants to take it. I'm sure he does take it, right? Because he does, well, he counters out. I don't know why he wouldn't take that, but anyway. We're going to play out our 6 drop Luffy now. Don -2, I accidentally clicked on the active Don. You know, I am playing on my laptop, so it's a little bit more difficult for me. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So we're supposed to actually have an extra Don, because I was going to swing 7 with the Sanji. And then I was going to swing 8 with the Luffy, or, you know, yeah, or vice versa. But, you know, we're going to pivot since we did make that mistake. And we're going to play out our Toy Soldier here just for his bigger body for the next turn, right? He's swinging at our Zoro again. So that's acting as a pseudo blocker once again. He's swinging 6 into our Sanji here. We're not going to let that go, not just yet. And we will be on 10 Don next turn. He plays out the Katakuri, life and Luffy. Feels kind of bad, but it's okay. So before we use Toy Soldier here, I think we should swing into his Nico Robin, see if he wants to give that to us. And he's deciding if he wants to give us the Nico Robin or not. Okay, cool. So he gave us the Nico Robin here, so we're going to go ahead and use that Toy Soldier that we premeditated on the board. Play out our 10 drop Kuzan, KO his Katakuri. Swing 5 into life, and we're chilling. So we don't have any open Don, but we are at 3 life. So even if he plays like a kid or something that swings, we will lose 2 life, right? Which sucks. But he's worried about our board, and it makes sense because, you know, that Kuzan on board, anything you play, my Sanji will be able to KO it, right? So he plays out the kid, trashes our life. It feels pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. Makes his kid a blocker. That's nice. So here we're just gonna go ahead and play out our Sanji, KO his kid, you know, get rid of that blocker. We're gonna swing 10 into life here, just in case, you know, he had trigger, just practicing good standards. Then we're gonna swing 8 into 5 here, see if he wants to counter out. We're gonna leave 2 open Don. We get our opponent down to 2 life. We got 2 Gum Giants, and we got a top knot in hand that we could possibly save for the next turn, which will be able to remove whatever. He gets a Nico Robin trigger to play out a Capone game Beige blocker, which is, you know, nice for him. That's going to stop us from being able to remove his characters efficiently, because it just puts one of the characters that you would remove into life. I believe that's what it does. Correct me if I'm wrong, crew. I'm sorry. You know, forgive me. I can't read the cards as is. I'm just going based off of memory. So it is what it is. We're at 2 life here. We're going to see what our opponent does. He's swinging 14 into our Kuzan here. Looks like we're going to have to get rid of this top knot, because just in case we don't draw into counter, and look, we don't. So we're gonna double Gum Gum Giant here, which, you know, doesn't feel the greatest. We're gonna save this 6-drop Luffy because making your leader 7k is a little bit better. We do draw into the Blackbeard though, so you know what? I'm like, fuck it. Let's play out Blackbeard. We'll go ahead and KO the Beige. And it's probably gonna be 5, 6, 10 here. So we're gonna swing 6. He gives us the blocker, and then we're gonna swing 10. And we get our opponent down to 0 life. Nice, nice, nice. And our opponent just quits there. Makes sense, okay. So he did have the law to gain a life, right? But with our Kuzan on board, even if he gains a life, we're literally just KOing his blocker, and then we're going for game, right? So next turn would have been play out the 6-drop Luffy if we wanted to, or we could just literally turn the T sideways, get rid of his blocker, swing in a life, you know, with the rest of our Don, and it was GG's either way, right? Unless he had like a game-based trigger, which he can't really put that in the life with the law. So at the end of the day, you know, it was mathematic. Let's get on to the next game, crew. All right, crew, so we got a Shanks here, and when I tell y'all, crew, these games are back to back. They're back to fucking back. So let's get it. Got a Shanks here, man. We're going second. I do prefer to go first with this deck, but we can go second as well. The good thing about going second is we don't have to worry about getting ramp as much. So seeing our Luffy or a Sanji, we still can curve out on turn 3, right? So here we're gonna go ahead and play out our Frankie. We're probably gonna pitch the Blackbeard because we can add that back off of Rebecca if we need it, but we don't. We just go ahead and pitch the other Frankie. In hindsight here, I probably would have just pitched the Blackbeard, but you know, it is what it is. And we're gonna swing 6 at our opponent here. He's gonna do his leader effect, minus 1k, you know, Shanks things, of course. But our hand is pretty stacked, bro, with plays. Let's see what we do, because I do not remember at all what I did. I recorded a lot of these games yesterday. I think all these games yesterday, to be honest. While my wife was working, I was in the living room, you know, recording these games on the laptop for y'all boys, man. I couldn't really do the RP Luffy one though, because I do have 3 different builds I want to show off, and I did not feel like trying to recreate all those builds on the laptop, I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, so he swings 7 at us here. We're gonna take that very aggressively. Then he puts 2 on Hongo. I think that's Hongo. And he's gonna swing 5. I don't know why he did that. Oh, he rested down to, I don't know what he did right there. I think that was just a misclick, but it doesn't really matter. So here we're gonna play out our 6-drop Luffy, buffing our lead to 7. We're gonna swing the Frankie into the Hongo because we know he can get rid of it on 7, right? So we might as well just swing it out. See if he wants to protect the Hongo. Sorry, crew, I had to hit the drink real quick. Alright, then we're gonna put 1 on lead, swing 8. Swinging 8 into Shanks is very effective. So we're gonna try to do that as many times as we can. Alright, so our opponent's on 7 Don here. He can bend Beckman to remove the Frankie, which, you know, wouldn't be a terrible play. But I got news for him. This game is only gonna get worse the later it goes on. He plays out at Lucky Roo here, which is not a bad play. You know, trying to protect that life early so he can make it to his 10 Don turn, which he needs to. But since we are going second, we are taking him off that perfect curve, right? I mean, he does still have his, you know, Ben Beckman, Yasuf type curve, but we're taking him off that 10 drop curve. All right, so this turn we're gonna play out the Blackbeard. We're just gonna use Blackbeard to KO the Otama here. Then we're gonna put 1 on the 6-drop Luffy. Swing 8, do his effect, buff our lead to 7, and then it's probably gonna be another 8. And just keep these 8s into our opponent here, which is gonna require him to give us 2 cards no matter what, or take the life. He decides to take the life there. He goes down to 2 life. Well, guess what, buddy? You got another 8 coming in. So you're either gonna turn this Lucky Roo sideways, or you're gonna give us 2 cards. I'm fine with either, right? So he does his leader effect here, so it's 7 and a 5 instead of 8 and a 5. Let's see what he does. But if you look at our hand is fucking stacked, bro. He's not getting any of these bodies on our board. Not if we can help it, right? Now, it could have been argued we could have left 1 up for Gum Gum Giant, but the reason I didn't do that is because I do have so much counter in hand. I'm not really worried about the Gum Gum Giant, right? And plus, I do want to be able to drop my 10 drop next turn. So that is another reason why we're not playing the Gum Gum Giant. So our opponent's on 9. I know anything that he plays, once I play this Kuzan down, my Blackbeard will be able to get rid of it because they don't play many 9 drops, right? If any. I think the new Shanks is a 9 drop maybe. I don't know if they play that though. But either way it goes, if he plays his Rayleigh like they usually do, we're going to be able to get rid of that with this Kuzan next turn by dropping the Kuzan down. And then on top of that, so dropping the Kuzan down, and on top of that, using our Blackbeard to KO whatever he plays. So he's using a Building Snake here, and then dropping the Rayleigh. He KO'd our Blackbeard, but our Blackbeard is gonna add itself right back to the hand, which is nice. He did get rid of our Blackbeard, that's good for him. We're gonna go ahead and give him a 2K here for this attack onto our Luffy. We're not letting him get that card off board. No sir, no sir. So here we're gonna go ahead and drop our 10 drop. Just KO his Lucky Roo, get it up out of here. And then we're still affected by the Rayleigh, right? So we're minus 3K on our Luffy. So we're still gonna swing him just because we want a 7K lead and we want to get that dime back active, right? So we're still gonna swing him. We know our opponent's gonna be on 10 Don next turn, which means they're probably gonna play a Rush Shanks or a KO Shanks. They would be better off with a KO Shanks to get rid of this Kuzan, because if they don't get rid of this Kuzan and they play a Rush Shanks, I got bad news for them. That shit's getting removed next turn for free. Alright, so we swing the Luffy, we buff our lead, now we're swinging 7 and a 5. He accidentally used his leader effect on my Luffy. I guess he forgot about his Rayleigh effect. It happens, but you know, it is what it is. He takes the life. I'm assuming he's bricked up at that point, because I don't know why you would take a 2K attack. Well, I guess it was 2K, 1K because he did do his leader effect on the Luffy, but you know. Still don't think I would have went down to 1 if I was him, because if he plays a 10 drop this turn, then he has no blocker, and if he can't remove my board, then you know, that's still a lot of attacks coming in, right? So he does play the 10 drop. He swings 12 and the 6 here. We're gonna Gum Gum Giant because we got a lot of cards in hand and we're not worried about it. So here we're gonna go ahead and trash the Luffy because we're protecting our Luffy, you know, so might as well. We're gonna go ahead and give him a Suru there, and then also a Frankie, or no, we're gonna give him a Zoro Zoro, right? Yeah, keep your blockers for sure. Not bad, not bad. He's probably gonna swing the Rayleigh in, that's fine. We're gonna give you 2K, 1K to protect it. And now he can't even swing his leader, and we're looking nice. So here, we're probably going to play the Sanji out, KO the Rush Shanks, right? We can swing 7 with the Luffy, do his effect. Get the dime back, buff our leader to 7, and I wouldn't be opposed to playing out the Frankie here. Let's see what we do. So we're gonna swing 10 and a 5 here. We get the life, and really we can strap up and go for game, right? But you know, we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna just swing 10 at 5 here and leave 3 open Don. See what he does here. Okay, he counters out of that, so that's good for him. He goes down to 3 cards in hand. We got 3 open Don, 7K lead. We got a Kuzan on board. We got Blackbeard in hand that we added back off itself when he KO'd it. He's gonna play the KO Shanks. That's nice for him. You know, that's nice. Swing 8 into 7 probably. We're gonna counter out of that for sure. Yep, give him the Gum Gum Giant there. Getting rid of the Blackbeard, buffing him. And then he can't swing into anything else, and that is gonna be GG's. I'm sure he's about to quit here. Maybe, possibly. Yeah. So that is the game there. He had 1K counter in hand, and we had, you know, 3 attacks coming in with the Don split up, just ugly. So yeah, let's get on to the next game, crew. All right, crew. So we got a GP Luffy here. I was on the fence about posting this match, but you know, because he didn't see his perfect curve, unfortunately. And he did make a slight misplay in my opinion. But yeah, it is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. I figured I would just show it to y'all, because why not? I'll just show you what my deck does. Because even if he did see perfect curve, right, it wasn't going to change the fact that we was going to be able to remove whatever we needed to remove. So that being said, we are going first, and you know, we do like going first. We do see Black Maria as ramp. We don't really see any of our other curve, but we do have Blackbeard that we can play, or Marshall D Teach. We do got Top Knot, so we could get rid of a early threat as such as the Zoro. But he does have Going Merry, so he will be able to buff his Zoro and protect it. So let's see if he does that. If he does, at least he's not the worst player in the world, right? Okay, so yeah, he does buff his Zoro. We draw into the Luffy. Look at the gods. Look at the gods. So our opponent is on 4 Don. So we're not going to be able to do the leader buff, but we can get the 1 Don back active, so we can swing 6 instead of 5. And we always like to do that, right? And also being able to put a Don on our leader to buff our board plus 1 cost is always a great play. You know, there's cards called Big Mom. We don't want to get punished by Big Mom because of a misplay. So our opponent plays another Zoro out here. He is searching his deck. I believe he searched a Luffy Taro with the first one. So he's definitely trying to find that Luffy Taro into, you know, Sanji Pudding. Which ain't the worst play in the world, right? So he's just swinging 5 here. And he's choosing not to do his leader effect, which I don't think is incorrect necessarily, because he is only on 6 Don, right? And not having that Sanji Pudding on the board, you know, you're not going to be able to get the Don back. So he does choose to play the 2 cost Tony Chopper out here, which most people would be like, you know, don't attack, whatever. It is what it is. We're going to be on 8 Don this turn. I'm like, okay, bet. Let's go ahead and get this Blackbeard on board. Yes. Okay, then we can just rest down and KO the Tony Chopper. Swing 7 into 5 here. See if we can get some counter out of hand. If we do, then we can swing 8 into the Zoro here. And leave 1 open Don to bluff a Gum Gum Giant, right? So he does give us counter, he gives us 2K, 1K. Alright, do you want to give us another 2K, 1K to save this Zoro? go. Nice. So he's got one body on the board now. He is on 8 Don, so he can play out his Luffy Taro. He's on 9 Don, I'm sorry. So he can play out his Luffy Taro play here, and this is where I think he made a misplay. And we'll go over it when we look in his hand. Not to mention it could have been in his life, so I don't know for sure. But I do know that he doesn't have the Sanji Pudding, and I'm really confused about what he plays here. So he's just deciding what to play. Okay, so he plays the Uso Hachi here and rests down our Black Maria. This is very, very confusing. And he's swinging 5 into 2, and we're gonna let that go all day, every day, right? We're not saving that. And he's still choosing not to do his leader effect. Now, at this point in the game, I think that is incorrect. Not to do your leader effect at this point in the game. Like, I get it. Maybe he's playing like a 10 drop or something, or a 9 drop, and he wants to make sure he can play it out on curve. But if you are playing that, then I think you should be playing more ramp cards. But he's swinging 7 into 7, and we're not gonna let that go any day of the week, right? I mean, come on. Now, that being said, if he did play Sanji Pudding out here, he would be able to buff it +2, but with this Kuzan play here, we would have been able to get rid of it either way, right? So his Sanji Pudding would be gone right now. He still would have his Luffy Taro, but if he didn't get rid of this Blackbeard, that would be gone next turn, and you know, so on and so forth. Once we establish this Kuzan, anything GP can play can be removed. And if you look at her hand, we got Sanji, we got Top Knot, which means next turn also we got Shirahoshi, and we got One-Legged Soldier, which means next turn, if we keep any of these cards, as far as counter wise or our cost reduction, we will be able to KO his entire board. Like KO / bottom deck his entire board, all in one turn. So he plays the Rush Luffy out here, and I'm assuming he just gave up at this point, which makes sense because there's literally nothing you can do at this point in the game, right? So he put 1 on. He's gonna do later effects. Okay. Swings 8 into 7. Yeah, this guy is just literally like, don't rag him too hard, crew. Don't rag him too hard. Maybe he's learning the deck, bro. Maybe he's learning the deck. We're not gonna give it to him either way, right? And then he can't even swing leader into nothing unless he uses his 1 standard Don, which, you know, he probably gonna do now at this point. He done gave up. Nah, he just quit. Okay. So I'm assuming his Sanji Pudding he got out of life. But the turn prior when he played the Uso Hachi, he could have played this oh no, he only plays purple cards. Okay, so yeah, he couldn't have played the Zoro out. I was thinking maybe he could have played the Zoro out. Maybe he could have played the Nico Robin out unless he got it off life. I'm not sure which one he got off life. But yeah, no matter what he did there, he was cooked, right? Like, even if he played out the blocker and then sat on Gum Gum Giant, whatever, his entire board was gonna be white, and it was gonna be GG's. Like, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, we're on 10 Don, right? We play out Shirahoshi, -4 anywhere on the board. Kuzan's already minus in 10. I mean, already minus in 5. Drop the Sanji out, KO anything we want to, and then Top Knot, bottom deck anything we want to. Get the Don back active, and then swing the rest in the face. We still got 2 life. And, you know, now we got a blocker on board. And, you know, it was just GG's. So I just wanted to show y'all this game mainly Not necessarily because of the dub, because you know that was not a hard fought dub at all, but mainly just to show you how this deck plays. I feel like it's essential to show you every match that I played. So yeah, that's how that match went. Let's get on to the next one, crew. All right, crew. So I seen some people talking in the chat about the Zoro matchup being terrible. So I had to go see for myself. So we're in OP12 right here just for this match, only for this match. I wanted to see the Zoro matchup. I wanted to see if it was terrible. This is literally my first time playing against Zoro. Having to read these cards and see what they do. So you know, it is what it is. This build right here though, we're actually running the more aggro build with the Rush Sanjis, the 9-drop Luffy. So we're not running the KO build right here because I will have to do some more, you know, integration into the KO build for the OP12 meta. I have to see, you know, how it plays out for sure. So we're actually running just the Rush build because we are more comfortable with the Rush build. We're getting comfortable with the KO build, don't get it twisted, but you know, the removal build is for OP11 right now. So, but we are running the Sanji still. I still think the Sanji is great. And in a second, you're gonna see that I said I was reading cards, but apparently I wasn't reading cards. So yeah, you're about to see that in a second here. So he's swinging 5 into 5. We're gonna go ahead and give him a 1K counter for that. He's on 5 Don. He plays Cavendish down, and then he plays a 2-drop. I just skimmed over the 2-drop and seen blocker and was like, okay, he's got a blocker. Wrong. Swing 6 into 5. He counters out. Okay, now we're gonna play the Sanji out and try to KO the Cavendish. And this is where reading is important. And then I read and I'm like, okay, he's KO protection. Awesome. So we wasted our Sanji there. Unfortunate. Feels fucking bad. Is what it is, right? At the end of the day. We could have played our 6-drop Luffy out there and been chilling. But no, we did that instead because we didn't read. You know, make sure you read cards, crew. Make sure you read cards. So I'm not going to make that mistake no more. So I'm reading what this Tashigi does. Because, you know, I don't want to lose because I didn't read cards. So we're reading the cards here. He's going to swing 8 with Cavendish into 6. We're probably going to let that go. That way he can only swing once with his leader. He swings 9 with his leader. You know, feels bad. So here, I'm deciding what I want to do. We're going to put 3 Don on our leader first and swing 8 into 6. He needs to protect this if he can. Right? Like he needs to protect his Cavendish, right? Protect the Cavendish if you can. He lets it go. So I'm like, okay, well maybe he doesn't have a lot of counters. So now we're going to play out our Sanji. KO the Tashigi, getting rid of his entire board. Forcing him to, you know, attack with his leader only. Which is where we want to have him at in this juncture. We don't want him to have bodies to attack with. So the Sanji is actually coming in clutch this game right now so far. So he's swinging 10 into Sanji. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to counter out of this. I'm going to protect my Sanji. I'm going to value the body on board. I know he can only swing it to my face after that. So we're going to protect the Sanji here and then take the face hit because we do got the 6-drop Luffy that we can play next turn to buff our leader if we need to, right? So here we're going to go ahead and play the 6-drop Luffy, buff our leader, you know, because why not? Then it's probably going to be, I would say 8-8. See if I do that. Yeah, swing 8-8. Try to get our opponent down to 2 life if possible, or low cards in hand. See what he does here. What is he doing? What is he doing, crew? What is he doing? Okay, he takes. Now I'm just like, fuck it, we're gonna swing 9 to try to get him down to 2 life right here and force him to worry about our board, because if you get him down to 2 life, we got 3 attacks on board. He knows we're playing rushers, right? Because typical PB Luffy plays rushers. So it's gonna force him to try to get rid of our board. That's my idea, that's my way of thinking, and you know, that's gonna be our opponent's way of thinking as well, if I'm right. So we're swinging 9 here. See if he wants to give us 3 cards. He doesn't want to give us 3 cards. That makes perfect sense. So we got him down to 2 life here. He's playing out the Tashigi. He's resting down our Luffy here. Let's see what he does. I'm reading his event in trash because I didn't read it the first time. He's swinging 10 into 7 here, and I'm like, I can counter out of that actually. So we're gonna do no blocker here. We're gonna give him 2k and 2k and get out of that 10k swing. Now he plays the event to restand, or no, to freeze. He plays Electrical Luna, I think it is. I don't know. He's playing some 3-cost event that freezes our characters. And I'm like, bet, we'll Gum Gum Giant to get out of that. Now, we're probably going to just play our 9-drop here. First, we're going to search. See if we can get anything juicy. Nope. We get a Frankie. You know, feels bad. Frankie's not really good in this matchup. We're going to go ahead and play our 9-drop out. Draw a card. Swing 5 into 5. See if he wants to give us the life. And then it's going to be 10 into 5. Probably going to give us a life for that one, right? Alright, so now we got our opponent in a situation where he either has to go for game or he has to clear my board, because you can't do both, right? You would think Zoro can do both, but they can't do both, right? So let's see what our opponent does here. To be honest, he could split and go for game, right? And he probably could have it. I mean, if he's got like a restand card again or something, I don't know. He probably can get game. Let's see what he does. Plays an event to rest down our Don, right? So I'm like, okay, he's going for game. Now, granted, we only got a 2k and 2 1ks in hand. So if he splits perfectly, he can kill us depending on what's in our life. He's always going to want to put 3 on his leader, right? That's 8k. We can get out of that. So we're not worried about that. Let's see where he goes with it. He swings 7 into 5 first. Big mistake. So we're going to go ahead and counter out of that. Easy. Easy. Okay, swinging 10 into 7 now. We're going to let that go. He's restanding his Zoro and swinging 10 into 10. That's going to be an easy 1k. So now we're just going to split Don. He's got a Don open. I don't know what event he can be playing besides that 3k event. So we're going to start off with a 12k attack. Zero cost event, 2k, and some other shit. I don't know what it was. 2k, 2k, 1k, maybe. I don't know. I'm like, alright, bet. So we're going to swing 9 here, and then it's probably going to be 10. Alright, then 10 in the life. And GG's. He had double Hody Jones in hand. So good thing we ended it there, because we definitely was cooked. And we did have a 2k in life, so if he would have went for game, he would have lost either way, right? So yeah, GG's. That's the Zoro matchup, man. Hey, I guess I could see the potential of it being hard, but it's still pretty fair matchup in my opinion, just based off of my match with him. I mean, I felt like he seen what he wanted to see. Seen his Tashigi, seen two Tashigis on top of that. He was able to swing into board multiple times, swing into life. We countered where we wanted to counter at, and we did what we wanted to do. Alright, crew. So back to the OP11 meta. Now we got a matchup against Katakuri. Didn't I tell y'all I had some games for y'all boys? I told y'all I had some games for y'all boys. So now we got a matchup against Katakuri. We're going second. They're seeing everything they want to see. Searcher, pudding, everything. You know what I'm saying? On curve, right on curve. Alright, we're seeing our curve too. So we like it. We love it. So we're going second. We're able to play out our Nico Robin here. We should have swung 5 first, just in case they did have some kind of trigger from life. Should have swung 5 first, but it is what it is. Play out the Zoro now, and we're chilling. So essentially we got the double ramp. Oh, never mind. He God threads us there, so he's seen everything he wanted to see. Thinking here, swinging 7. We're gonna have to take that. We do got double Kuzan in hand, and we do got our 6-drop Luffy as well, which is nice. Thinking here what I want to do, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to give him value of that pudding. I don't want to give him any more value from that pudding, right? So we're gonna swing 5 into 5 here. Try to get some cards from hand. He gives us the baby caddy. Oh well. I guess we're not going for his pudding. We're gonna save our Sanjis, which makes sense, I guess, because we could wait for the Katakuris. But I think we should just went ahead and got rid of that pudding, since we do have 2 Sanjis in hand. I don't think it would have been a big deal to get rid of the Katakuri, but it is what it is. So he's playing the queen blocker here, cycling, trying to find his katas, his big moms, whatever he needs. Makes sense. Alright, 3 open dime. What you gonna do with it, buddy? What you gonna do? Okay, 2 on lead. He's swinging 7. No leader effect. Alright, easy 1K out. Then swinging 5 into 4. And I'm like, we'll let that go. Why not? So we're gonna go ahead and play our Sanji out. KO the queen. Swing 7 into life here. Show y'all this sick play right here. I'm like, damn, we got 5 dying again, bro. That's crazy. If you got the Luffy on board, you can go crazy with these Sanjis. Swing another 7 in, and then drop another Sanji. 2 Sanjis in one fucking turn on 9 dying. Come on, man. You can't tell me the Sanji's not needed. The Sanji's too good. Now that we got this new 6-drop Luffy, the Sanji is fucking goated. Like, come on, man. 2 Sanjis on a 9 dying turn and a 7K lead on top of that. Like, come on, man. Value. 2 bodies. While we establish 2 bodies, come on, man. Y'all can't tell me Black Sanji ain't good. Okay, he's playing the 6 cost event. He removes our Luffy and one of our Sanjis. But we're on 10 down now, to be honest. I think we should swing 5, swing 6. Go ahead and get this Kuzan on board. So if he plays a big mom next turn, we're gonna get it up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Yep, play our Kuzan out. KO his little 1 cost pudding. Now if he plays a big mom next turn, we can drop another kata. KO his big mom. Swing 5, 6, 10. He's at 1 life. You know, he's got to play it safe for sure. Plays his big mom out. He's rushing into Sanji. I'm like, okay, sure, you can have that, buddy. That is fine with me. Swinging 6 in, give him a 2K counter here, keep our life healthy, because you know we're not going to be able to leave a Don open, unfortunately, since he did get rid of our Luffy, our drunken fist Luffy. Cool. So we're going to stick to the regiment here, drop another kata, get rid of his Lin Lin, swing 5 into 5. Then swing 10 into 5. There's a fucking ice cream truck or something outside, bro. I hear the music. Don't give me copyright. But yeah, swing 10. We got him down to 0 life. So if he plays another big mom, he just loses automatically. We're at 2 life. There's no way possible for him to win. And if he leaves both these Kuzans on board, it's not going to be good for him. We do got the Frankie to cycle next turn, so we can get into some more KO. Alright, cool. We get a Rebecca. That's nice. I'm about to check this trash. Oh, man. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do Frankie here. Get rid of the Zoro. We get into another Kuzan, but we don't need that right now. But I'll tell you what we can do. Top knot Big Mom up out of here. Nice. Check my trash. I got plenty of black cards and trash, such as the Sanji. So it's gonna be 5, 10, 10. Play out Rebecca. Add back Sanji for the next turn, which will be able to KO anything in the game. Sit on the Gum Gum Giant, and we got another Kuzan as well, man. Come on. And we got a blocker on board. Y'all can't tell me this shit ain't gas. Tell me it ain't gas without telling me it ain't gas. Like, come on, man. Double blocker. Add back to Sanji, which will be able to KO anything that he plays next turn, and he just quits there. It makes sense. I don't want to see the end either. I mean, I did want to see the end, but you know, it is what it is, man. Let's get on to the next game, crew. Well, crew, wouldn't be a OP11 video without a UP Luffy, right? So here we go. We're going first. We play out the Zoro. We can't swing into him because he is a 6K lead. It feels bad. Feels terrible. But it is what it is. He puts all his Don on and swings 10 at their face. That must feel bad for him too. No ramp. Gotta suck. We're gonna just swing Zoro here for 4 to 6. So we can ramp up to 6 Don. And I don't think we'll be able to swing our lead again because we are planning to play this Brook out. Makes sense. Perfect. So our hand is not the greatest. We got 3 Gum Gum Giants in hand. We do not want to see them this early. Granted, it's early / late at the same time, right? But it is what it is. Our opponent still sees no ramp. That is very unfortunate for him. He plays out the Nami this turn. He's got a shit ton of cards in hand. I mean, I know he's got to put 2 of them back, but still. He's got a shit ton of cards in hand. Yeah, 8 cards in hand. Swinging 6 into 4. We're just going to let that go. We don't need it anymore. You know, it is what it is. I think this turn, we need to establish the teach down so we can get rid of any of his big bodies he plays with our, you know, cost reduction. We're going to swing 7 into 6. Use the Brook effect here. Go ahead and minus 2K on his Nami. So if he wants to block with her, he's going to have to give us some counter to save her life. Put 1 on Luffy here on our lead and swing 6 into 6. Try to get another card from hand. He gives us the blocker there. So now I'm thinking he's got a bunch of bigs in hand. And I'm going to need to search for a Kuzan. Like, no lie. Or some cost reduction. Something. He plays out a Bond Clay into another Nami. I'm like, man, this guy is trying to be annoying for me right now, right? He's still at 3 life now. Don't get it twisted. He's not in no losing position by any means. Now, we do got the Brook on hand. And this does kind of make me wish that I had the what was it, Gum Gum Lightning. That would be a nice card right now. Alright, so we're probably gonna play out the Drunken Fist Luffy here. -2 Don, buff our lead to 7. No, not a bad play at all. Not a bad play at all. Think we should just go ahead and play the Frankie out to cycle. We need some cost reduction for sure. If we can get into a Suru, that would be goated right now. We draw into a top knot and another Drunken Fist Luffy, so you know, not the best play. But at least you're getting to see Brook put in work, right? So 7 into 6 with Brook. No effect this time because it's not needed. Okay. 7 into 6 with lead. Another 2K. Alright. 8 into 6 with lead. With Marshall D. Teach. He takes the life. Takes his first life there. Okay. We're on 8 Don. We got 1 Gum Gum Giant. We got a blocker. We're a 7K lead. And we got a shit ton of bodies on board that, you know, gonna accumulate some value if he leaves them on board. Let's just say that. So he's on 10 Don. He plays out the Katakuri blocker. Not a bad play by any means necessary. Swinging 8 into 7 here. Should just give him a 2K. I don't think I should use this Gum Gum Giant because if we draw into a Kuzan, it's gonna feel bad if we use this Gum Gum Giant, right? We're gonna have to use it. He's swinging 7 into 7. We could give the blocker up here, right? But I'm gonna save the blocker for a bigger attack. And you know, I'm just looking for cost reduction at this point. I'm like, this Katakuri cannot stay on board. Like, come on, man, give me some cost reduction. I'm playing enough of it, right? Like, damn, we ain't got nothing really good to add off Rebecca besides Blackbeard. So I'm just scanning my hand here. I'm like, fuck it, let's just play another Brook out. Why not? Play another Brook out. I'm like, let's attack with this Brook first into the Bond Clay and then give -2K on his Katakuri and his Nami. Nice. He lets the Bond Clay go. Makes sense. Now we're gonna swing 7 into 6, do the Drunken Fist Luffy effect, buffing our leader. He turns the Kata sideways and gives us a 2K, and I'm like, buddy, come on now. Come on now. Swinging 8 into 6 here. He lets the Katakuri go. Makes sense. Swinging 8 into 6 again. He gives us the Nami blocker, so he has no more bodies on board. And our board is filled all the way up. All the way to the fucking brim. So he is on 10 Don here. He can do his Sanji stuff now if he wants to. Let's see what he chooses to do here though. Sanji into Big Mom. That's not a bad play at all. It's not a bad play at all. What are you lifing though? The only thing you can life is the Frankie blocker, which feels bad. That feels bad. So putting that 1 Don on lead, chef's kiss. You know, he chooses not to swing his leader because he can't swing his leader without investing that Don. He definitely don't want to do that, right? So here I'm like, bruh, we have seen no cost reduction. All I need is a little cost reduction in my life. We play out another Drunken Fist Luffy and our opponent just scoops his hand up. And I understand because look, we got literally straight 8s coming in at your mouthpiece. Like, no lie. It's gonna be 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. And he's only got 1 open Don, bro. No other counter in hand. And look at his top life. He didn't sack his top life, right? I don't think. Yeah, I mean, let's look at his. Yeah, he would have had to leave more Don open, right? We literally can kill him this turn. 5 8s in, and it's GG's. We could have even went just 7 7 7 7 7, right? Or even 6 if we had 6s. But yeah, we cooked our opponent there, man. All right, crew. Did somebody say buggy? Guess what? Here you go. Here's the buggy matchup. He's going first. His perfect curve. Buggy, ladies and gentlemen. Buggy. Let's see how he does. He's gonna swing 8 and a 5. You know, we'll take that. We'll take that any day of the week. We're gonna put 1 on lead. Swing 6 in here. Play out our Black Maria, which is gonna be basically ramping us. Feels great. Now, couple options on curve. Depending on what he plays, we get to decide what we want to play, right? We can benefit off the Luffy right away, but we also can establish this Brook as well. Let's see here. So next turn we will be on 7 Don, which he played a Mihawk out, right? Now, since he played a Mihawk out, I know I got the Suru in hand, I got the Sanji, and I got, you know, 1 Don for lead, which means I can get rid of this Mihawk right away. And I'll tell you one thing Buggy hates is you getting rid of their board, because without their board they can't do their shenanigans. And this is how you beat Buggy. It's simple. Just go for board. Like it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. I get it. They got the 7-drop Buggy. 4 or less can't swing. Okay, well, you know, play your other cards out. You know, Sanji or your Drunken Fist Luffy's or whatever you're playing, bro. Like, it's not like you're playing a fucking deck full of 4 cost or lowers. So he's playing the Crocodile out here, Mihawk, into the Kabaji. Perfect curve for this Buggy player, right? Swinging 5 into 5, it would feel bad to take this, so I'm gonna go ahead and counter out there. Probably should have just took it since I do got the Drunken Fist Luffy, right? We're gonna go ahead and play the Drunken Fist Luffy, buff our lead, and it's gonna be 6 in. And checking my trash, I don't got anything good to grab off the Rebecca, so you know what? We're gonna strap up. I think we should put 3 on a Black Maria here and try to turn her into a pseudo blocker, right? Because why not? Swing 5, and then it's gonna be swing 8. Okay, we got our opponent down to 2 life. We got a lot of bodies on board. Well, not a lot of bodies, but we got 2 relevant attackers on board. 3 if you count Black Maria, because we just attacked with her as well. So now our opponent has to worry about this board. If not, you know, it's gonna get real ugly real quick, unfortunately. So he plays out the Crocodile into, I don't know what the other card is. Maybe it's another Kabaji. What is the other card? Please scroll over it. I don't know all the Buggy's cards' name, so forgive me, crew. I'm not a Buggy student. 7 and a 6 there. Feels bad, I gotta let that go, but it is what it is. Then he's swinging 9K into Black Maria. Look at that blocker there. Black Maria blocking a 9K attack. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, crew. So here, I'm like, you know what? We can go ahead and play this Kuzan out. Force him to get rid of a card from hand, which will leave him at 2 cards, right? Force him to get rid of a card from hand to protect his board. Because, you know, they want to protect their board, right? Alright, cool, nice. Now we can go 7 into this Crocodile Mihawk using the effect. See if he wants to give us another card from hand. He gives us the blocker there. I'm like, alright, well, you know what? Let's do it again. 7 into 7. He protects it. Hey, well, you know what? Is what it is. We're a 7K lead. We're sitting on Gum Gum Giant. And you know what? We got 11 Don plays next turn if this Luffy stays on the board. Got bad news for our opponent. So I'm calculating here. I'm like, okay, I can use Gum Gum Giant, trashing the Shirahoshi, because I can get it back with the Rebecca. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in my head. But I don't do it. I do the Blackbeard. Because we can do the same thing with the Blackbeard as well, right? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. That's why I did that. Okay, because he had another 7K attack. Makes sense. Okay. I thought I misplayed for a second there, crew. I was about to trip out on myself. Okay, so here's the niche plays, right? We're gonna play out the Rebecca, grab back the Shirahoshi for the next turn. We're gonna go 7 into his Crocodile Mihawk first because you know that's protecting his shit from being KO'd. Even though he doesn't have a card to trash, we're just doing it for, you know, memes at this point. Alright, we're gonna go 10 into the Crocodile Mihawk. We're gonna go 7 into the Crocodile. And then you know what? We got 7 done because the Luffy gives us 1 back active with our leader effect. Guess what? Here we go. Play out the teach. KO and his other relevant attacker. He now has no attacking bodies on board. And he fucking scoops. Like, come on, man. Crew. Y'all can't tell me this list is not gas, bro. Somebody convince me this shit's not gas. Look what he drew into a fucking pudding. Yeah, go ahead and put me, buddy. Give me 5 cards. Yeah, let's see if we got any more games, crew. I'm not sure. Let's see if we got any more. So that was it for the games. This is where the list's at right now. And I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm loving it, bro. I'm loving this list. Like, this is probably one of my favorite PB Luffy lists right now. The list will be in the description. Y'all try it out for yourself. I showed y'all a shit ton of matchups, so y'all can't tell me that this shit can't cook. I've cooked almost everything in existence. Come on, man. From the top meta to the bottom, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's it for the video, man. It's been long enough, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. And like I said, 100 likes, one of y'all will be getting a custom piece of merch sent to your crib, man. And I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.